fall webinar series. We're delighted that all of you could join us, and we look forward to telling you a little bit about the DAAD grants that we offer for students in North America to study, research, and intern in Germany. We have representatives from all three of our North America offices on today. My name is Leslie Harrelson, and I am in the Information Center in San Francisco. Joining us from Toronto is my colleague Jessica Denenberg, and then we have two colleagues from the New York Regional Office. That is the Director, Sebastian Forbeck, and then also Myung-Shin Kim, who's the Program Officer responsible for some of our major graduate grants. So we're delighted that all of you could join us, and I also want to let you know that we are the three offices here in North America, and we work with students who are currently in North America. So you don't have to be U.S. citizens necessarily, but do have to be degree-seeking students here, generally in North America. So if there's any of you from other countries, feel free to chat us, and we can send you to the office in your respective country. You're more than welcome to listen in, but do know that the grants we're talking about, the specific deadlines and application procedures, is specific to North American students. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of how the webinar software works in case you haven't already participated in a webinar. And then we're going to send it over to the colleagues in Toronto and New York to go over our different funding opportunities, and then we'll have a Q&A. And the Q&A is where it's really your opportunity to submit your questions to us, and we will do our best to get all of them answered. And feel free to submit those as they come to your mind. We will collect them and then do a moderated Q&A at the end, as you see here. So at any time when a question pops into your head, feel free to send it our way. You should have something that looks sort of like this on the right side of your screen. That's the control panel that lets you see how to sort of participate in the webinar. All of the lines are muted, so you won't be able to speak, but you can submit your questions by typing. The attendee list you don't see because we keep that hidden due to the number of participants. Letter B here, the grab tab, that allows you to maximize and minimize the size of the control panel. If it's taking up too much space on your screen, just you can press this arrow button and it'll decrease the size of it. The audio pane here controls how you're listening in on the webinar. Looks like almost everybody's listening via their computer, and that's to use mic and speakers. If at any time you lose audio, all you'll need to do, a quick fix is generally just toggling between these two radio buttons, and that will reset your audio connection. The questions pane down here is where you submit your questions. You simply type the question here in E, and then you click send, and that will come to us. And if it's a very specific question, we might just type a question and answer back to you quickly. My colleague Jane Fu in the New York office is working with us on that. Otherwise, we will save it for the moderated Q&A at the end. And then before we get started, I wanted to do a quick poll. So if all of you would look on your screen and let us know, you should see here, what are you most interested in? You can select a few of them. So please let us know what you're interested in: master's programs, pursuing a PhD, short-term research, an internship in Germany, a postdoc in Germany. This just gives us a sense of what our audience is interested in. Just give everyone a few more seconds. We're waiting for a few more people to respond. So it looks like most of you are interested in a master's program in Germany, and then also an equal distribution of short-term research as well as internship in Germany. So thank you very much for that. And now I am going to pass it over to Sebastian Forbeck. He is the director of our office in New York, and he is going to give a few Grußworte. We're delighted that Sebastian could join us. He's a very busy man, and we caught him on a time where he's actually in the office. So Sebastian, if I can pass the mic over to you.
Thank you, Leslie. This is Sebastian Forbeck. I'm the director of the DAAD office for North America in New York, and I would like to welcome you to this webinar. Just a few words about DAAD. DAAD is the world's largest organization, scholarship organization for international scholarships. We fund around 100,000 people to and from Germany every year, 100,000 with all countries worldwide. So we don't have any limitations as far to countries we exchange with. And DAAD invests the biggest sum of money in the United States, in exchanges with the United States, so that's a very important region. My own role is I have been here as a director since 3.5 years after having worked for DAAD in a variety of positions. I was in London, I was in Brussels, most of the time in headquarters in Bonn, and I find the exchange with North America is especially fascinating. When I look back, years ago, when I was head of the US desk in headquarters in the 90s, we had a 4-to-1 exchange rate between the United States and Germany. That means 4 Germans were going for every American or Canadian coming to Germany. Now we have almost balanced exchange rates, so there are per year roughly 9,000 people from the US studying in Germany and roughly 9,000 Germans studying in the US. The big difference is that people from North America, from the US and Canada normally come for much shorter periods of time than the other way around. But there has been a big turnaround, and I find it very interesting that the poll showed that most of you are interested in master courses in Germany and also in internships, because the big change has actually been in the system in Germany. We introduced bachelor and master courses roughly 12 years ago. We had a different system before that, and now the master courses which we offer in Germany, many of them in English, have turned out to be extremely attractive. This is the case because quality of German higher education is very high. It is based 95%, 97% on public universities, which in most states do not charge any tuition fees. So we have 16 states in Germany, 14 states are zero tuition, 2 have a very low nominal tuition fee of €500, which corresponds to $600 per semester, which is almost nothing per month. It's like $100 per month. So most of the courses are free, very good quality. Many of them are in English. The master's courses in most cases are 2-year masters, and the fact that we offer them and that they are high quality has led to an astonishing result that now for American students who actually study abroad and enroll in universities abroad, who do not go on short study abroad programs, but who actually enroll in other people's universities, the number 3 target country is Germany, and for American students doing a master's abroad, Germany is even the number 2 target country after the United Kingdom, before Australia, before Canada, which are English speaking, and 2,800 Americans are doing a master's degree in Germany every year. So this shows that this is a very interesting thing to do. Why is it interesting? It is interesting because it's high quality, it's free, and also because the European labor market is a very interesting labor market. Unemployment rates in Germany are much lower, for example, than in the United States. There is a shortage of manpower in many fields which require a college education, and Germany has made it extremely simple after you finish your studies, for example a master's degree, to stay in the country and actually work, get a work permit and get a residence permit. So this is now also easier than in the United States than to get a green card in the United States. So these factors make it very interesting to come to Germany. Also you can do doctoral work in Germany in all German universities, normally in English. So that's another big segment of the market you can come over. And for all these things, for all these projects, short-term research, internships, and master's courses, full master's courses of 2 years, or doctoral work, you can apply for scholarships with DAAD, which cover travel costs and the cost of living in Germany. And you will hear more details about these programs from my colleagues later on. So I wish you a very successful webinar, and I would be very glad to see you among our applicants soon. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Sebastian, for that great intro. And now I'm going to pass the mic and the screen over to Jessica Denenberg, our colleague at the DAAD Information Center in Toronto. So Jessica, take it away.
Great. Thanks very much, Leslie. And thank you, Sebastian, for that introduction. As we mentioned, we're actually going to be talking to students today. We're going to be giving them some information on opportunities for graduate students in particular, and that since we did the poll at the beginning and that seems to be the main area of interest, I think that it's fantastic. It's going to work out well. As Leslie mentioned, my name is Jessica Denenberg. I'm the Information Officer at our DAAD Information Center in Toronto. And I work together with Professor Dr. Maren Lawrence, who is our director here in the office since May the 1st. So for any Canadians who are participating, feel free to contact us with any questions you may have. First of all, what is DAAD? Well, I think that Sebastian actually gave us an excellent overview of exactly what DAAD is, what we do. Essentially, we're a German national agency for international academic cooperation and exchange. We're an independent association of universities, but we represent all universities and forms of higher education in Germany. And as Sebastian mentioned, you can certainly apply for scholarships through DAAD to fund your period of study or research or an internship period while you are in Germany. And this funding can be provided to students from countries all around the world. We work specifically with those students who are enrolled full-time at institutions in the US and Canada. This is a map showing our network worldwide. So as you can see, we have offices right the way around the world. So just about anywhere where you come from, there will be someone, a DAAD office, that can help you out, give you the information you need about how to study or conduct research in Germany. We wanted to mention a little something about the Bologna process simply because this is actually something that's very relevant to degree seekers in North America right now. Essentially, the goal to create a European higher education area, the EHEA, was established back in June of 1999 with the Bologna Declaration. And essentially what they aimed to do was over the next 10 years to create this area of higher education which would make it easier for students to be more mobile and have more compatible degrees throughout the signatory countries of the Bologna Declaration. What this means for Germany is that Germany has since implemented the three-tier degree structure of the bachelor, master, and PhD, and that there are well over 1,000 international degree programs. Those are, in other words, the programs that are taught through this three-tiered degree structure similar to North America, and they're taught either partially or completely in English, which makes it a lot easier for students who perhaps don't have a very international background or don't have full German language proficiency, something like that, to be able to be mobile and to still accomplish your goal of studying or conducting research in Germany. It also means that there's more competition between individual institutions to try to gain more international students and to try to offer programs that are essentially more attractive to students, more marketable, so that students really want to go and participate in those degree programs. Finally, it also allows for more transparency between the individual programs with the introduction of the diploma supplement, which means essentially it's like a transcript here in North America that gives a full description of exactly what work and which courses the student has participated in during their degree. This allows for credits to be transferred more easily to North American institutions as well as to other institutions within Europe. Now, of course, the main question is why Germany? And I think actually Sebastian spoke to this. Germany there are so many reasons why students are choosing Germany as their study abroad destination right now. And here you can see some testimonials that we have from students simply where they've had an excellent time. They've really enjoyed the high quality of German education, and they would certainly recommend a period of study in Germany to anyone. Now, one thing that's important to know for you as graduate students or as students who are looking to complete some kind of graduate education in Germany is the structure of higher education in Germany. Essentially, higher education is divided into two main types of higher education institutions. Those are the research institutions, which offer undergraduate, professional, and doctoral programs and have more of a focus on research, and the universities of applied sciences, or Fachhochschulen, which are more practice-oriented bachelor's and master's offering programs. Now, it's important to note that if you are interested in continuing on to do doctoral studies, you may want to reconsider applying for a program at a University of Applied Science simply because they do not offer doctoral programs. So just make sure, based on what your future academic and professional goals are, that you are attending a program that is right for those goals. And in addition to those institutions, Germany also has outstanding research institutes outside of the university framework, including the Max Planck Institutes, Helmholtz Research Centers, and the Fraunhofer Institutes, among others. Here we just basically wanted to help steer you in the right direction in how to select your program or your school of choice. We know this is always a difficult decision, whether you be in Canada or the US or whichever country you come from around the world. It's always difficult to decide exactly which program is right for you, but here we have a couple of links. You may want to note these as well. They will be available on our website if you'd like to jot those down and use those as resources for searching for bachelor and master's programs and for making the choice that's right for you.
And Jess, I just want to jump in here. You made a great point. We will be not only posting the video of this webinar online, thanks so much to our intern in New York who is recording this, and we'll post it online. We will also circulate this presentation to all of you who've attended afterwards, as well as include an email with direct links to the most important links that we mentioned here, as well as the links about our fellowships, which I believe are coming up here with an eye on the time.
That's right, exactly. Okay, thanks, Les. So essentially, DAAD scholarships provide funding for study abroad, internships, or senior thesis research. As we mentioned, they're open to students in all fields. You do not need to have previous knowledge of the German language, but of course it can be advantageous. The scholarship provides a monthly stipend or lump sum, as well as health insurance and some travel reimbursement depending on your location in North America, as well as an all grantees meeting in Bonn. And now if we actually take a look for opportunities for study and research for graduates, we're going to discuss some of our programs in depth. I'm going to pass the microphone over to Myung-Shin Kim, my colleague in the New York office.
Hi, thank you, Jessica. Hello, everybody. My name is Myung-Shin Kim. I'm a program officer, and I'm responsible for the graduate scholarship program, which cover both study scholarships and research grants. The graduate scholarship program is highly competitive with more than 800 applications and an acceptance ratio of about 1 to 6. Now I'm going to talk about the study scholarship first. Applicants who can apply for the study scholarships are graduating seniors or fourth-year undergraduate, or recent graduates or graduate students. Our scholarship holders can either do an independent study or complete a full master's degree in Germany. As you may be aware of, German universities offer excellent graduate programs in both English and in German. So we encourage students to complete their master's degree in Germany. And as a matter of fact, I see a big increase of number of applicants who are interested in completing a master's degree in Germany as well. And the grant for master's degree candidates, that is very attractive because the grant can be extended up to 1 year. So those who are attending a 2-year master's degree programs in Germany, they could be fully funded by us. The deadline is November 15th. I'm going to talk about the details maybe at the end of the research grant. Jessica, if you can just turn the page to the next one for visual. Thank you. Visual and performing artists can also apply for the study scholarship. The application guideline is almost the same as the study scholarship in regular fields, except they must submit their artwork or recordings. Please be aware that there is a separate deadline for artists, which is November 1st. Next page, it's research grants. So the applicants who can apply for the research grants are PhD candidates and recent PhDs who would like to carry out their research on their dissertation or conduct any kind of independent research or some type of collaboration with a German institute, or applicants who would like to complete a doctoral degree in Germany also. Again, this grant can be attractive for those who want to complete a doctoral degree in Germany because that can be extended up to 3 and in exceptional cases up to 4 years. So the deadline for both for the study scholarship and the research grant is November 15th. Please note that's very important that you have to apply almost a year in advance. So basically the next deadline, which is the coming deadline, which is on November 15th, 2012, is for the funding period of the academic year 2013 and 14. And the typical German academic year is from October 1st to July 31st of the following year. All the information is, of course, available on our website, and I'll be glad to answer any questions at the end of this session, but for specific questions that you may have, please feel free to contact me. The best way to do it, to email me at kim@daad.org, and my email address is also underneath of each program description on our website. And I think that's it for now, and I'll be, of course, here to answer questions.
Great. Thanks so much, Mungchin. I really appreciate it. And just a reminder to everyone to feel free to chat in your questions to us at any time, and we will answer them at the end. And now we'll go back to Toronto. Jessica, take it away.
Great, thanks very much. I'm going to continue and just get some information about our university summer course grant. Now this grant is offered for students who would like to pursue courses that are taught in German at German universities. You must have at least a two years worth of college level German in order to apply for this program, in order to be eligible for it. And essentially the courses should focus on literary, cultural, political, and economic aspects. Of course, it can't necessarily be all of them at the same time. Now, the best part is we have a DAAD summer course database. Well, actually, I think we'll give you the link for that later on. Essentially, it's daad.de, so it is our website that is administered from the Bonn office instead of the North American one, which is daad.org. So it's daad.de/Sommerkurse or summer courses. You can also do a quick search for that from the daad.de website to find our database. There are literally hundreds of courses to choose from. They have a duration of usually about 3 to 4 weeks, and the scholarship includes basically $850 to cover your tuition, room and board, as well as your health insurance and a travel reimbursement. Now the deadline's coming up for this December the 15th of this year for programs taking place next summer. RISE Professional. Our RISE program, which was started back in 2005, stands for Research Internships in Science and Engineering. And the RISE Professional program, which came some years later, is geared towards recent graduates or graduate students, or for those undergraduate alumni of our RISE program who now wish to be placed in the RISE Professional program. Essentially, what the program is it's a 6 to 20 week summer internship placement in a leading industry or German company in Germany. The German language proficiency requirements are, of course, dependent on the nature of the internship. So it depends on what exactly you'll be doing, whether you'll be interacting with other people, what the focus of the work is, whether it's going to be exclusively research, in which case the language of the laboratory may be English, or whether you'll be working more in a situation where you'll be working with work colleagues, in which case you'll need to speak some German. Scholarships and housing assistance are provided, and in some cases a 2-week intensive language course is provided for those who have very little or very poor German language skills. So for more information on this one, you can certainly find it from our website, the DAAD.org, and it will link you directly to the DAAD.de website, which will take you to then the collection of RISE and RISE professional pages. The intensive language courses in Germany. Now these are 8-week intensive language courses that take place at leading institutes throughout Germany, and the courses can be taken between June and January. So there you can see the requirements. Basically, they're for full-time graduate students in any field of study except for German studies, German language and literature, and German translation and interpretation. So essentially, these courses are geared towards students who need to improve their language proficiency in order to continue their studies in a field other than those fields. So it's for students who are in the humanities or the sciences, something like that. The terms of the award, essentially the scholarship includes, it's at 2,300 euros, which includes tuition, accommodation, and a cash allowance, health insurance, as well as partial travel costs, depending on where you're located. The deadline for this grant is December the 15th. Now taking a look at the German Studies Research Grant, this grant is geared towards students who are in the field of German studies, so whereas the last one wasn't. And essentially it's a grant that focuses on, it's geared towards students who want to complete some short-term research, so for a period of 1 to 2 months in North America or Germany. Now the students here must be nominated by their department or program chairs. So this is something you may want to speak to your German department. If you are a German studies major, you may want to speak to the department about possibly receiving some kind of funding for this. And once again, a minimum of 2 years of college level German is expected in order to pass the language requirements. The deadlines for this grant are November the 1st and May the 1st, so please be sure to check our website to find out exactly which category you would fall into and when it's best for you to apply for your projected research period. Now the MGIP Bundestag internship, this is a fantastic internship for students who are in the fields of political science, international relations, law, history, economics, or German. It's essentially a 2-month internship at the German Parliament for advanced undergraduate or graduate students. For this particular scholarship, students must be comfortable in written and spoken German, and they receive a monthly salary from the German Bundestag. Now DAAD can help with health insurance and housing, which really helps the whole internship process. And the only unfortunate thing about this internship is that the deadline was last week, September the 15th. So for those students who are currently in their 2nd or 3rd year right now and may be hoping to do this internship next year, keep in mind the early deadline for next year and definitely get your applications in well ahead of time. Finally, we've got the Summer Law School and Internship. Now, the Summer Law School is a program, it actually didn't happen 2 summers ago. It happened this past summer, and it's for students who are in the field of law who wish to receive intensive legal training at one of the most prestigious law schools in Germany, at the University of Freiburg. Essentially, the internship is composed of a 1-week seminar and a 3-week internship at a German law firm or another legal institution with an international focus. So you can see there that applicants are required to be outstanding candidates in their 2nd and or 3rd year of legal studies, German language skills are not a prerequisite for this particular internship, but of course they're always advantageous and certainly preferred. And a proven interest in the German legal system is also helpful. The deadline for this scholarship is January the 15th, so those who are interested in taking part in this internship next summer still do have some time to prepare their applications. So do check the DAAD.org website for more information about next year's program. Finally, we have some information here about partner grants and other opportunities. These are other scholarships that aren't necessarily DAAD scholarships or fully DAAD scholarships, but they may be of interest to you. We do list these on our DAAD.org website, so if you see something there that you think might be relevant to what you want to study, certainly jot it down and then take a look for it on our website so that you can click on it and get more information. Finally, we just wanted to give you some tips for success. Students always ask, well, what can I do to make my application shine? And essentially what we tell them is, when you are creating your study proposal, express why a stay in Germany is critical for your academic or professional goals. Drawing this link and this connection really helps to further your proposal and make it a stronger proposal overall. Furthermore, obtain a letter of invitation from a German professor or institution. Now, it's important to note this isn't necessary, this is not obligatory for those students wanting to do a master's program in Germany. It certainly becomes more important at the research or PhD level. However, this is really only necessary if you will be doing a specific or individual program that requires that you work with a particular staff member or professor. Furthermore, explain clearly why you chose the location or program you did. Everyone has their reasons for choosing a particular program, but the more clearly that the selection committee is able to see why you've chosen the program and the better that fits with your academic and professional goals, the stronger your overall application will be. Of course, submit quality letters of recommendation. When approaching professors or professionals to write a letter of recommendation for you, make sure it's someone who can really say something about the high quality of your work and your performance. I can't stress this enough. Don't approach a person simply because you've known them for a long time or because you got a good mark on one paper and you've only known them for one course. Really think about who you want to ask and who can really comment on your abilities. And finally, make sure your application is on time and complete. Late applications simply cannot be accepted, especially due to the high level of competition for these scholarships. So certainly make sure you have everything you need and then be sure to submit it on time. These are some important links that, as Leslie was mentioning before, this is our website for the USA and Canada, DAAD.org. And then we also have some other interesting links for you that may help you in finding funding for your period of time abroad, as well as down at the bottom there, we've got general information about study and research in Germany. Studyin.de is a fantastic website that gives you all kinds of information and blogs and maps and everything you could possibly want. As well
and Jess, I was just gonna jump in and show that real quickly. So while you're talking, I'm gonna switch to my screen and show everyone.
Oh, great, fantastic. That would be great. And as well, so then the Research in Germany website that's shown below the Study In, that's of course for students then at the research level, so who are either pursuing a PhD or who are working on master's graduate thesis work, and that will show you some research positions that are open at various institutes throughout Germany.
Great, thanks so much, Jess. And in mentioning that, I have the Research in Germany website here up on my screen now, and it's a great resource, as Jess mentioned, for everything about research from PhDs through postdocs, faculty positions, and there's great links here on the side. You can click on your status, which will show you everything that's applicable to you, and also great links such as jobs and careers and what we all like, research funding. And on the study page, the Study in Germany side, as Jess mentioned, a great resource. And the landing page of this website is a really powerful search engine where you can search 75% of you were interested in master's studies. So you click master's, and then you can put in the field of study. Let's say you want to do chemistry. Then you type that in, and then you can even click courses in English only, and that will show all the master's programs in chemistry that are in English in Germany. Let's hope I picked one where there's a lot of results. But this is just an example of how to use this really powerful website. Oh, yep, you'll see here there's 35 different master's programs in English in Germany, and you also see over here on the right side they're mapped out on a map of Germany. So if you need to be near water, then you know you can go to Bremen, but if you're more of a mountains type person, then check out the programs down here in the southern half of the country. So, and I also just mentioned when she was talking about the summer course grants, here you can search for all the different programs that are available over the summer, and it's similar interface to our other search database. You can even choose, if you definitely want to be in a certain city, you can search by city, search by when you're available, and then you come up with a great list of available courses. So that's just a brief introduction to our different courses. And Jess, I'm sorry now that I stole that away from you. Is there anything? I guess I'll hand it back over to you. Thanks for letting me continuously.
No problem. No, no, of course not. That's totally fine. No, I appreciate you showing those websites because it really does wonders to have someone show you exactly how those work. And yeah, so those are the two websites that I think would be really, really relevant for you, as well as I was mentioning, the other funding resources. There's the fundingguide.de website, studyabroadfunding.org, and the highereducationcompass.de. And with that, we hope to see you soon in Germany. Those are your opportunities for graduate students through DAAD and other funding organizations. And at this point, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to send those questions in via the chat, and we will either discuss them or have someone from our colleague from our New York office direct you in the right direction.
Great. Thanks so much, Jessica, Youngshin, and Sebastian, for all of your helpful words so far. And now we're going to move to the Q&A portion. The first question is going to go out to Youngshin. So this is about the institutional affiliation. So the question is about the invitation from the host institution. Does this entail a formal institutional affiliation for the duration of the stay if someone's doing a research grant? Can you just talk a little bit? That's actually a very common question I know that we all get about the research grant. So could you talk a little bit about the affiliation?
It's for the research grant, right?
Yes.
Not for the study scholarship who wants to do.
For the research grant, yeah. But it might be helpful to address them both because I know we get a lot of questions on the former.
Right. It is important for you to provide real evidence of any existing contact. Of course, it could be not only from a university, it could be any kind of organization, institution that you have established a contact with academics at your chosen German host institution, or just an invitation from a collaborator. That person needs to know exactly what your project is and also has to agree the time frame. There would be a good invitation letter. For those who want to complete a master's degree in Germany, they don't need to show any invitation letters because simply our deadline is much earlier than the German university's admissions deadline. So it's just impossible to get any kind of invitation letter. So for students who want to complete a degree, don't need to submit an invitation letter from a German host. The research grant applicants, it is essential for them to submit an invitation letter from someone or from institution that knows his or her project very well.
Great. And if you don't mind staying on the line there, Youngshin, the next question is on the recommendation letters. So the first question is, can you have more than 2 recommendation letters for the graduate study scholarship?
We do really prefer just 2 letters because simply receive a lot of applications. However, if you really think it's absolutely necessary, then you may submit a third letter.
Okay. And then to follow up on the question about recommendation letters, Jenny is asking, her future degree is slightly different than her current one, and since the letters need to be from professors in the field, is it best to stick to the current field or letters from professors more closely in the future field?
Well, I mean, if if you get a letter from your professor who has known you for a long time and knows what your career goal is, that person might be able to also mention what your future plans are or academic goal is. So I think it would be better to get a letter from your professor that you have known and maybe ask him to mention certain projects or your plans in Germany, for him or her to mention that. It is important for us to know what your academic track record was, previous track record was, your goal, or what your academic or professional goal is. And I think it would be better if you get it from the previous professor than someone who you will be studying with.
Great. Thanks for that, Yangshin. The next question is something I think a question I also get quite often is if someone's doing a Fulbright for, a lot of people that apply for the DAAD study scholarship also apply for the Fulbright, and if they're doing the Fulbright research grant, does that disqualify them from applying for the DAAD grant, or what's the sort of relationship between getting granted from Fulbright and from DAAD?
There are a lot of applicants who apply for both, and that's completely fine with us. If someone receives a Fulbright grant and for a master's degree program and extend for the second year of the master's degree program, yes, they can apply for the DAAD scholarship again, study scholarship again. However, please note that if you are interested in completing a master's degree program, the DAAD grant will give you a chance to complete 2 years, which the Fulbright grant doesn't. So I think those who want to do a master's degree program, a 2-year master's degree program in Germany, should keep in mind that maybe it would be better to select the DAAD program, even if they apply for both. If someone is now in Germany on a Fulbright grant, not in a degree program, they cannot apply for the study scholarship for the further year.
Great. Thanks, Myeong-chun. I know these are detailed and complicated questions. So we're hoping by things like the webinar that we can get these common questions answered for a lot of people. So yeah, I want to encourage everyone to continue to type your questions here in the question box. And one more question is about the PhD programs. How do you have to be accepted into a PhD program at the time when you're applying for the research grant?
No, in general, as I have mentioned, the German university admissions deadline is much later than our deadline. So you don't have to be enrolled, or you don't have to send us any evidence of admissions by the time of application. And this rule is for anyone who wants to complete a degree, unless you are already enrolled in Germany. Of course, for those who want to apply for the scholarship for the further degree program, then they have to show us the Zulassungsbescheinigung, which is the admissions certificate.
Great. Thanks, Myeong-chun. If I would encourage, if anyone has any other questions, to type them in. I think we've answered all of them for now. I don't know, Jessica. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, this question is about applying for a visa at the German embassy, and that's unfortunately not something we can really address here. We can't give sort of legal advice like that, so we would encourage you to contact the German embassy or the German consulate that you're working with, and if that's probably the best way to do it. I don't know, Myung-Shin or Jessica, if either of you have anything else to say, but visa issues are so complicated and so specific that it's really not something that we can advise on. If you do get a DAAD grant, then you will receive paperwork from the DAAD showing that you have the financial assistance necessary in order to get the visa. If you don't get a DAAD grant and you're going on your own, then you do have to prove that you have that 8,000 euros that's necessary. But beyond that, we don't provide assistance.
Yeah, in general, North American citizens do not need a visa to enter to Germany. Visa is the word itself is a little confusing because you don't need a visa in order for North American citizens in order to enter to Germany. But once you arrive, you have to apply at the resident registrations office, which is called Ausländerbehörde und Einwohnermeldeamt, and that will give you a residence permit, and with that piece of paper you can also register for university and etc. But again, yeah, we are not qualified to answer specific questions on the visa issues, so it would be better if you could just get in touch with the nearest German consulate.
Great. Thanks so much, Myung-Shin. The next, excuse me, the next question is, besides undergraduate grades, what helps an applicant in their application? I'm assuming this is for the graduate study grant. So this questioner says they've applied twice and they're considering applying again in the future, but what can be done in the meantime to show a strong commitment to studying in Germany?
Well, I mean, I could just briefly tell you the evaluation criteria. I mean, I'm sure the student who is asking is very disappointed, but please also, you have to keep in mind that, the selection ratio was it was 1 to 6. So it was very competitive, so we can't really offer funding for all excellent candidates. I can mention the main evaluation criteria. So basically it's merit-based, but basically we look at the applicant's track record in academic performance and personal achievement, or is the project or study program well defined? Does it have real merit? In the case of study scholarships for master's degree programs, are there convincing reasons that the candidate choose a program best suitable to further his or her academic and professional goals? Or how beneficial would a stay at a German host institution be for the project or the candidate? For the research grantees, is the grant period requested appropriate to the aims of the proposal for a research grant? So there are different criteria. So I mean, we have only limited funding for all grade candidates, so we can't really offer the grant for everyone, but these are the main evaluation criteria, which is also indicated on our website. I hope this helps. I mean, it's hard to really describe or make it really clear.
No, I think that's great, Myung-Shin. It's just good to hear from a person a little bit more about what is going through the selection committee's sort of list of priorities as they're reviewing the applications. Let's see if there's any other questions. If not, Myung-Shin or Oh wait, here we go. I guess I should stop speaking so soon and just let people type. This person says they're applying to a program in Germany. It says she should use references from North American professors in her field of study. Can she provide a reference from a professor in the UK, which is where she completed her law degree after an undergraduate degree in Canada? So it sounds like law degree in the UK, undergraduate degree in Canada, applying for a program in Germany. Say something about the letters of recommendation there, Myung-Shin.
Oh, I don't know. Are you chatting with her? I'm wondering how long she has been. Is she back to Canada or in the U.S.? Depends, but I can just answer it generally. In that kind of case, I would say yes, one letter from the U.K. and one letter from Canada.
Okay, that's great. Nice and simple.
Yeah. There are always exceptional cases, and we are somewhat flexible as well.
Isabel says thank you very much for answering that. I'm going to unmute Sebastian here and Jessica as well, and if there's anything that any of you want to add before we close, we have a few more minutes. We'll see if any other questions come in, but otherwise, Jessica, Sebastian, any parting words for the audience?
Yes, one point we should stress that different from the Fulbright program, everybody who is enrolled in a North American university can apply for DAAD programs, which means that roughly 1/4 of the students we actually fund from North America are not US or Canadian citizens. They come from third countries. I think this is important to stress because many national programs actually require citizenship. So that's a very good possibility for students who have been in North American universities for a minimum of 2 years by the time the scholarship starts, and makes our selection meetings very interesting because we get actually people from all over the world who apply from North America then to Germany. This also refers to the case we had from the UK. The lady who did law school in the UK was there longer than a year. She should apply through our office in London, because the office in London, just as we, takes people of all nationalities who are at that time in Britain.
Yeah, Sebastian brings up a good point of wherever you're living and pursuing your most recent degree is where you're sort of affiliated with regards to our granting. So if you have citizenship in India, but you've been in the States for a year or two pursuing a degree here, and you want to apply for a DAAD grant, that's fine. That's great. You apply through the North America office. But if you're a Brazilian student and you're in Brazil, then you need to apply through the office in Brazil. So really, we don't look at your citizenship, but we look at where you are currently pursuing a degree. Jessica, anything from Toronto, our northern neighbor?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone's really covered everything quite well. I really appreciated that last point by Sebastian. I think that's one of my favorite things about DAAD funding, is that it does extend to students coming from a third country who have been studying full-time here in North America for 2 years. So that's excellent. And once again, if any other Canadians are listening in and have questions, further questions, would like to do some follow-up, or even would just like me to send them some informational materials, please feel free to contact our Information Center in Toronto.
Another point, everybody, I would like to make is the selection ratios Myung-Shin referred to were a bit depressing, 1 to 6. But I would like to point out that for shorter scholarships, like, for example, summer language course scholarships, and also the short-term grants for doctoral students, the ratios are somewhat better. So it's easier to get, for example, a scholarship for a summer school in Germany than for a full year. It might be worthwhile to try out one of these shorter type scholarships, because the chances are better.
True. Sorry to make it so.
Well, for your program, it's quite true. It is 1 to 6, yeah.
Great. And I think with that, it looks like we have all of our general questions answered. And I really appreciate everyone attending. Again, we will circulate the PowerPoint presentation that you saw today, and we will also post the video of this online. And I want to say a huge thank you to Sebastian, to Myeong-shin, and to Jessica for participating in this webinar, and to all of you for your questions and for your attention. And yeah, we look forward to receiving applications from you, for those of you that are students and for those of you that work in fellowship offices and study abroad offices. Do send your students our way as well. You're more than happy to accept direct questions from them. We don't expect you all to be experts on all of our grants. So with that, wishing everyone a wonderful Thursday, and thanks for taking part.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
Leslie.
Thanks very much.
Bye.